we're working towards our best. So we're constantly, here we go. We're up and
All
running,
right,
baby.
we're up and live. All right, everybody. Welcome to Elite Ageless Mindset. I'm Nick Best, and this is Jon Andersen.
And we are here to share some of the methodologies and tactics we've used basically to do what we do well into our 50s. And when it comes down to it, I guess this show's about helping people understand some of the angles that most people just miss altogether. And once you start to see how this stuff fits together, especially when we start, talking about how we view things, it just everything starts kind of falling in place. I mean, well, obviously every week we're providing a workout, but more importantly, we're going to kind of walk through the workout and talk about some of the mental strategies to just basically kick ass. I mean, we got a pretty interesting one this week. What do you think, brother? Working up to some max stuff, percentage wise.
Yeah.
So what do you think about? Let's start getting out of the gate. We're in the back squat.
Hold on.
And we're working up to that max set of 7 and then dropping down to 70%, doing some max sets. So that right there. Talk to people through that.
Well, I mean, you're going to work up to like 70% for 7 reps. That's going to be taxing. And then you're going to drop down, or you're going to drop down.
And then you're going to do max first, then go to 70%.
Yeah. Then go 70%. Sorry. It's early. And then come back down and do reps to failure. That's going to be not only doing 1 set of that, but 3 sets of that. It's going to be a test of mental will and how much you're willing to hurt, because that's not going to be easy. It's not going to be comfortable. So you're going to have to get comfortable being uncomfortable.
We've talked about that so much on the show. And another thing too, that this whole thing is, now that we've had this workout, this style a few times, where you got to be looking, this is where we kind of start to see, okay, where you've learned to be comfortable. If you've been following us, you've been, following the strategies, you just like Nick's saying, you've learned to become uncomfortable. And now what you're starting to see is the type of progress you can make once you kind of made one with the concept that, hey, this is going to suck, but I'm going to do it anyway,
Right. Right. And that's going to be the biggest challenge most of the time is guys look at things and like, oh, this is going to suck. Well, yeah, but embrace that. Embrace the suck. Yes. Embrace going in and going after it. That's the challenge. You're not doing a bazillion different exercises here. You're doing 1, 2, or basically 1, 2, 3. So suck it up and get it done. That's where all your work's going to be.
And brother, you just kind of summarized the theme of the strategy, the mental strategy for this week it's just suck it up and get it done. Become comfortable, learn to become comfortable. It's going to suck, but you got to do it anyway. And once you learn that, talk to everybody about how things change. I know for me, about how things change for you once you realize, okay, this is going to suck, but the suck is temporary. And I'm going to get through this. How did everything you did in life, especially in the weight room, change?
Basically, everything will change to a certain degree, because this will affect everything in your life. You want to do something, it's going to suck starting it, but you know what? I'm going to start. I'm going to go as hard as I can. I'm going to go until I can't. And you know what? That's going to carry you far into everything that you do, not just the training, not just what it's going to do for your body. It's what it does for your mental state of mind, going after things. You don't go after things half-assed anymore. You're either all in or you're out. You find some other way to spend your time. And this type of training will get you mentally prepared for stuff like that, and will make a massive difference on everything that you do all the way around, even with relationships.
100%. You're 100%.
You'll find everything to put toward it, or you'll shut it off, know it ain't going to work, and move on to the next one. So it's a pretty neat training philosophy that you get just by picking up weights.
And the idea that, let's just strip it down. We want to make basically PRs. We want to move forward in the gym. We want to get stronger. What is that? That's new territory. Yep. That's some place you haven't been before. And when you get into the idea that, okay, this is going to suck, but I'm going to do it anyway, that's like the front door to getting into that new territory. Right. So what really this, the idea that you recognize is going to suck, you're going to do it anyway. And you're going to realize it's not that bad. You know,
Yeah.
it's just that door is going to come swinging open, and then boom, what Nick just described starts happening. And, you know, of course it's first in the weight room, but it just starts to translate everywhere in life, you know.
It's kind of one of those things where you're getting in, you get going, you're at 70%, and you're up around probably 6 to 7 reps, and you're starting to like feel it, and it's starting to like, but then you realize, well, I can get another one, and you know what, I can get another one, and that turns into another 5, which turns into another 6, and then you get that 7th and 8th one in there, and you start realizing you can still challenge yourself. You're going to be perfectly safe. You're going to be perfectly fine. It's just overriding your mind's ability to just shut it down when the moment something's uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's a massive tool.
100%. And this style of training where we basically are putting this idea that you're going to work up to a certain, you know, the best that you can for the day on a certain rep range. This week it's 7, then you're going to drop down to a percentage where you're going to be able to pump out a lot of reps of whatever that max weight was. And the reason we do it, because, you know, whenever you do that workout, you're going to take your best for that day, because that's all you're doing is you want to be working into failure against yourself for the best for that day. And it allows you to get in there and start to get uncomfortable and realize, okay, just like Nick said, you know, however many more, I've one more, however you want to walk yourself through it. I was a big one more guy. I know I can do one more. Let's get one more. If I was really kicking butt, I might be chewing on my 5s. 5's okay. I can do 5 more. And next thing you know, goddamn, 5 seems like a stretch. Let's get 3. And next thing you know, you're biting off 1. I know I can do 1 more. And it's just one foot in front of the next. And as you learn to move into that territory, you've embraced the suck to get started. Now you're learning to get uncomfortable within that long set. And this is where everything really opens up in terms of, you know, because we love to talk about lifting weights, but realistically, how much of it is in the mind, brother?
90% of it.
Yes.
90% of everything you do is in the mind.
Yeah.
You know, everything. It's all going to be in your mind and how you approach everything that you do, not just the weights, but the weights give a good way to train your mind to be able to do those things.
You know, there's a certain confession that I think I speak for Nick too. You correct me if I'm wrong, but when we put this concept together, we understood how powerful the mind was. But our biggest concern were you guys, you know, the people watching, and understand how important the mindset was, so you could get the major forward progression, because that's where we spend most of our time focusing on the mental strength. And of course, everybody thinks it's physical, but the physical just kind of falls into place. So just a little, I guess, just kind of coming to just stripping it down, boiling it down. You know, we really, really want to stay focused on the mental side of this, but we want to make sure that you guys understand the connection of how the mental and the physical connect. And
because that is your magical pill. That is your magical thing that works, that nobody wants to understand. It's a grind for a reason. But you work at it constantly, consistently, day in, day out. You live your life around that, and you will get to everywhere that you want to be in whatever it is that you're doing. And that's what people just don't seem to get. There's no life hack for it. There's no quick thing in, quick thing out. That's what the life hack is. That's what the hack for it is. There is none. So you got to make your own, and you make it slowly and methodically. And that's the hardest thing to make people understand about that type of drive and that people have. You make your own. There is no hack to it. There's no easy way around it. You still got to put the work in. And you can look at people like Larry Wheels, still had to put the work in. You can look at Brian Shaw. You can look at everybody that we know. I mean, Eddie Hall, just Magnus Magnuson. Everybody puts the work in. Bill Kazmaier, Ed Cohen, everybody. There's no life hack to getting to where they got to easily. It's all mental focus and time.
And we talk about the life hack, the magic pill, like Nick said, this is it. It's because when you take these mental strategies and you employ them, basically that that work has still got to happen. You have to do the work, like Nick's saying. You're just going to become a lot more efficient at getting through it. You're going to see, you're going to take more, you're going to gather more from the work you're doing. And I guess to a certain extent, for those of you that have a hard time with the work, some people do, you're actually getting it done. When you start to employ these tactics, the word, I'm going to say, gets easier, gets more simple, gets more effective, kind of all the above. So to finish the confession, these workouts are really just obstacle courses. What's so funny, brother?
No, I was just like, sorry.
No. Those are great little tangents. That's what it's all about. I mean, it's you know, when we go back and forth, it makes these, you know, just makes what we're saying more complete. But think of this workout. It's like an obstacle course. And what is it doing? It's allowing you to get yourself in a position to develop these mental tactics. And that's the strategies. And that's what it is. A lot of times people they don't look at it the way they should look at it, meaning that this is just a drill. This is like a training exercise, like a fire drill. You work on getting efficient, getting out of the building when you're a kid at school. Well, now we're working on getting efficient with getting real comfortable when shit is really uncomfortable. You know, so just look at this as this like a drill, you know, and Nick and I talk a lot about this, how we want to present this on the show. And I don't know, I just felt compelled to just be like a little bit more, because, you know, we understand how powerful this is, but we also know if we present it wrong, people are going to go, I'm not here for this Gandhi shit, you know? Right.
Well, I mean, you can see other examples of people with that type of a mindset. Goggins.
Yeah.
You know, where he goes on his 100-mile runs, which I think is,
and like he did them like nuts. Week after week.
Yeah. And just that mental mindset is, this is going to suck, but you know what? I'm going to do it anyway. Yeah. It's all relative to what you're doing. So, I mean, you can have that same mindset and crawl under a 900-pound squat and only do one, and have that same mindset that it takes for the guy to go do a 100-mile run, because they're both extremely hard.
Yeah.
One will kill you. The other one but they both can kill you, to be quite honest.
Just different ways. Are you burning to death or drowning to death?
Right.
You know, and one day or the next, they got the same potential outcome, you know?
But it's the mindset going into it that's going to carry you through the things.
Yes.
And if each time you do it, you get a little better at doing it, and you keep beating yourself. Eventually, if you beat yourself enough, you end up beating everyone else.
Yeah.
And that's just how the thing works. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Talent will get you so far.
That's it. You know, and so, you know, the workouts being kind of an obstacle course, and, you know, obviously what Nick was just saying, you put all this together, and you kind of realize that what we really want is we want you to be kind of understanding the spirit, acting in the spirit of what we're talking about, and it'll start to take shape. Is it important that you do any of these workouts that we're giving you perfectly? No. What's important is you take the mental strategies that we're talking about, putting into the workout, and you experiment with that so you can learn how to get back into that place where you perform at the highest level. And it's pretty fun. You know, when I was first discovering this, I used to call it portal, meaning I would be getting uncomfortable, and all of a sudden I would start to feel, holy shit, I'm starting to feel better. And in my mind, what that looked like was a little door that opened up, and I would dive through it. That's in my mind. That's how I saw it. That was the portal. When I was jumping through this portal, which basically went to a place where shit didn't hurt as much, where I was, you know, PRs were everywhere, because I had learned to get comfortable in that really uncomfortable set. So if that makes sense, it's I guess, you know, just want to be extra clear. You know, I mean, we're here because, you know, shit, man, we understand the impact of this stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah. And it's the thing is if you do it this way and you get through this, you will get through the next one, and you will get through the next one, and you will get through the next one. And as you start stacking days and training and heat and eating and recovery, all the things that you're trying to attain will be there. It might take 2 years. It might take 5 years. It might take 10 years, but it will be there. You just have to put that work in.
Yeah.
And that's the thing we're trying to explain.
Yeah. And again, everybody has their own challenge with the work.
Mm-hmm.
Some people have a challenge with showing up for the work.
Yeah.
Myself, as looking back, my challenge was not to do too much work, and because I became this guy where I connected the work with progress. So I just thought, well, shit, it's the old farmer. If a little bit's good, a lot must be better. Man, that's how I kind of did things. So now my challenge is to do not too much. That's a better way to put it. My challenge is to know when to, okay, shit, I'm going to have to take an extra day off today because I'm not recovered.
Right.
So this whole journey, you're going to use these strategies, and pretty soon, next thing you know, the challenge you had in the beginning are going to flip flop. You might have, maybe it was shit, I have trouble getting there. Now it's holy shit, I have trouble not going back when I know I need the rest. But either way, it's your journey. These strategies are going to work for whatever challenges you have. And that's what this show's all about. That being said, Nick, you got some words of wisdom to wrap this baby up?
Well, patience in the end is going to be what carries you through everything. Putting the work in and having the patience to follow through with it and see it through. Being able to go into deep water.
There we go, baby.
and tread for hours and hours and hours, working your tail off. In the end, that's what's going to get you where you need to be. It's the effort put in. It's the mental ability to go through that and come out the other side and look for more. And that's what's going to get you where you want to be in life.
100%. And what Nick just said, deep water, obviously that's my thing. My early stages of training, basically the deep water was kind of my philosophy. And what that was the signal. Like when my training partners say you're in deep water, that meant I was in that space. And that meant it was, sometimes I couldn't tell, but from the outside looking in, they could see, okay, he's uncomfortable. And I wasn't there yet. So I'd hear somebody yell, he's in deep water. And then that triggered me. Okay, I know I got to start settling in here because this is my space. And so whatever you want to call it, I call it deep water. Some people don't have a name for it. Does it make a difference? As long as you have a way to learn to be comfortable when the shit is getting very uncomfortable, you're going to be just fine.
Yep, exactly.
So that being said, everyone, thank you for watching. We will, we're here every week, same time, same place. And that's part of the mental strategy is we want to teach is learn to make consistency really simple, straightforward, so you can go get what you want. That being said, see you next time.
Have a good one, guys.